that. I know I lent a bit of money that I couldn't pay back. That's way back. I ain't tripping, I'ma rectify it. I clean up my own mess, I don't just step beside it. Been rapping on these same beats that I've been getting by with. And hopes one day these same beats will bring the best retirement. My main goal is to be happy, I won't settle for successful. I'm good as long as I stay level-headed when it's stressful. And when I need a push, I push the lead into that pencil. Since they want everything, I give them everything and then some. I know I'm destined for something, just hope it's sooner than later. Crazy lately, I've been eating off the fruits of my labor. But sometimes that fruit's rotten, it don't do me no favors. That's why I stay in position to be in.
There we go. Music's cut off. We're on screen. Let me just make this a little bit prettier. And
Let's go.
yeah, mics are live.
If I wonder if I turn my phone sideways, will it show up bigger on the thing?
You're also the only person yet who's savvy enough to figure that one out. Dude. Well played. Well played.
Come on, bro. I do this shit for a living, but I don't know where I have like a little tripod here for this. You know what might work? Check this out. I got these little stands for cards.
Oh yeah. What cards do you collect?
I don't. I made my own Kryple cards.
Oh, like business cards. I got you. Okay, I got you. You got stands for your cards? Oh, like to put on a counter or whatever. So
no, like
them?
Topps playing cards. 1 second.
Dope. Nice, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So
keep
I got some of those. And I
crispy.
ordered way too many stands and what I needed. So.
Well, now you got all sorts of decorations. Okay, so I'll bark out a quick little intro here so that we can get this thing properly underway, and then we'll get into it, man. Welcome aboard, everybody. This is Fly in Formation. It's a series where I've been talking to artists across the country, just learning more about the individual artists, their new projects, the cities that they're from. I mean, Edmonton, I know pretty well. I used to live up there for almost 15 years, but yeah, I've been learning a lot, just kind of tips and tricks, and it's been dope just having people kind of share their creative process and getting to get inside of the mind of some of these artists who, you know, I love and respect. So today I've got a long-time based in Edmonton lyricist and producer. It's Kryple, Doom Squad. You know, people know who this guy is. He's been around the Edmonton scene doing his thing for a long time, and definitely outside of the Edmonton scene as well. So yeah, we'll definitely get into some tour stories and stuff like that. I want to hear about it, man. But thanks for coming on.
Okay. Oh, of course, hey, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, word, man.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. So, dude, you're dropping music all the time. Like, on iTunes, I brought it up just before this interview. I was like trying to play some music for people to listen to, and punched your name into my iTunes, and I have like 23 songs on 15 different albums. I had to write it on a little post-it note so I would remember. But like, I mean, albums, a lot of them are singles, right?
But they count singles as albums, right?
Yeah, right. So yeah, that's a ton of work though, one way or the other. And I mean, like, I've only really been building that specific library for the years I've been doing After the Smoke is Clear. So we're talking about 3 or 4 years. You've put out, you know, that's just what I've played on the show. So you've put out that plus a ton of other music. Just constantly working, man. Like, do you record every day? How do you stay that consistently putting music out?
Actually, no. Like, far from record every day. I stack music when I'm in a creative space, because like now I'd say it's a lot harder for me to write music now than it is before in most circumstances. Especially like I just sit at home for the most part and work. So if I'm here by myself trying to work on a song, it could take me anywhere from 2 hours to like 2 weeks to make one song, just based on how bad the ADD is or like how creative I am.
How hyper
and
focused
just like,
you get.
Yeah, plus like about 10-15 years of writing songs. Like, fuck, man, I said a lot of shit.
Yeah, coming up with shit to still say.
It's harder to write something to me that I like.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to regurgitate. Plus, I feel like I'm like a technical writer, so it's like even harder. Like,
yeah, people expect, you know, bars from you or whatever. Like, yeah, people expect you to come with that technicality.
Like the ceiling. Yeah, like the ceiling. I don't have a ceiling for what I do, so like but my standard is really high. I like to be very technical. I like to use a lot of multisyllabics and weird like flow switch ups and different tones. And like, I just like to be very technical with it. And because I'm just like a fucking nerd with this shit, you know, like at the end of the day, I'm just like a music nerd, like most artists are.
I
So
was just gonna say, man, everybody I talk to strikes me as a bit of a music nerd. I've said it before that, like, you know, I think it takes a certain type of person to sit down with a pen and paper and write for hours on end, and that type of person is often going to be a nerd. Like,
yeah.
you know.
So I guess to answer your question, like certain times, like if I'm in album mode, then I'll just go to the studio once or twice a week and just like I'll be in the mode. But like now I like write with a purpose. I don't like write anymore just for the fun of writing. Like I used to do that a lot. It was just kind of thing like, oh, got an hour to chill, let's write something. Like
Yeah,
when
rap
I
for the
sit down
sake
for
of
a
rapping,
3 hour
right?
writing, yeah, when I sit down for a 3 hour writing session now, I'm tired. Like mentally tired. Like it's like I'm like drawing because I'm drawing so much.
A lot of
And because I don't do as
introspection
much anymore.
and looking back at your own life or whatever, right? Like I've noticed even just in your new releases, in your recent singles, like the most recent one there, "Feeling Good," like you're just kind of retrospective, looking back at it and like, you know, talking about how you're achieving some of these things that you thought were dreams as a kid or whatever, man. Like it made me want to ask though, like, was there ever a point in there where you actually thought about giving up on this thing? Because as far as I've been watching, which is probably around, you know, 15, 20 years at this point, like you've been pretty consistently dropping album after album and like, you know, tour after tour and kind of success after success. In that song, you talk about how there were times that you felt like quitting or whatever, but like, can you talk about that out of a
Yeah, I
song
would
now?
say about once a month, man. But bro, it's like, because here's the thing. Contrary to public perception, like I'm not rich. I'm not like I, I'm way past where I ever thought I would make it, but nowhere near where I want to be. And I'm like in this middle, like I'll get real, like honest with you. Like I'm in this like middle place where it's like I do make money off music. I make a decent amount sometimes, but it's also like the most expensive fucking job in the world is to be a
Yeah.
musician.
Yeah,
Every
it's a
song I got to
bottomless pit.
record costs money to record, to mix.
Yeah.
Every video I shoot, like, and I've alleviated a lot of cost myself. Like, I make my own beats, I edit my own videos. Still, I'm still spending probably 60 to 70. I would say about maybe 50 to 60% of everything I make goes right back into music. And then the other like 40% just goes to like bills and stuff like that. Like it's not life's expensive right now. So I'm still like month to month just grinding it out.
But are
Some
you
months are
managing
better
to
than
do it
others.
full time artist life? Like you don't have another
I haven't
gig?
had a job in 10 years.
Dope, man. Yeah.
I haven't
I
had a
mean,
job in 10 years.
I thought that was the impression I had, but that's a
But to
tough
be
thing to
honest, bro,
do,
it's
dude. Like you're one of the very few people I think I've talked to who's actually constantly at a level where you can, you know, pay your bills with it or whatever, which is yeah, man,
yeah,
that's a lot.
it once again though, it's ups and downs. Like some months are good, some months are bad. Up until COVID, I was selling weed.
Word.
It wasn't like I was just like I would say me making music and perform. Well, it's a hard toss up. So I'm the majority of my income comes from selling beats, like being able to produce for other artists,
I
puts
have
more
that
money on the
written
table than
down, man.
anything else.
I
Still,
wanted to ask you if you were forced to do one or the other, rap or only make beats, um, which which would be more financially motivating to do that?
financially motivating beats for sure,
Okay.
but out of the love, like so, I'll put it. My favorite thing is performing. My second favorite thing is making beats, and then the third is like making music
Damn, so like
because
you like making beats more than you like writing lyrics?
for the sheer fact of because when I make a beat, it's dead silence. I'm creating something out of absolutely nothing. When I'm writing a song, there's already a foundation there. So it's like building a house with a full blueprint and all the tools that you need to do it compared to a dead plot of land and you draw the blueprint yourself and select your materials and do all that. That's kind of like
So, but
the
you were
best
an
way to
MC
describe it.
before you started making beats, right? Like
Long
the
before, yeah,
production is
I
just
probably
more
rapped
recent.
for like 5 or 6 years before I even tried to make a beat. I started making beats just because I couldn't get the beats I wanted for the most
Right.
part.
Yeah, man.
And then it started to become like I also learned early to do things to supplement income. So we built a studio, we'd record people, we'd do whatever the fuck I could do within this industry that would make money.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to go get another job. I did. And then also whatever I could do to save money, I did. So I learned how to, like I said, I learned how to produce. I learned how to edit videos. I book all my own tours myself. I manage myself. I write my own contracts. I do fucking almost everything, bro. I'm
Right.
getting to the point now where I'm gonna need like somebody, but I'm also like, I know that nobody's gonna work harder for me than I am.
Yeah, that's what they always say, right? They'll only work half as hard as you.
So,
That's the rule of thumb.
so to relinquish that, at least until the money's there, you know,
Yeah.
when there's money there, maybe it's a lot easier to find somebody. But when it's like I hire people, but I have no full-time employees or anything. I have employees for like when I go on tour, I'll have to hire a tour manager and
Contract
merch
out.
guy, or
Yeah.
you know, and even then it's like double resource. Like my tour manager is also my driver, my merch guy is also my cameraman, and it's like keep it as minimal as
Do they
possible.
end up
My
all
last
being
tour I did in
homies?
a
Like, is
fucking
it
Dodge
is it hire
Caravan,
all the
bro.
homies to do shit like that, or who do you kind of look to for those kind of
Yeah,
things?
right now, absolutely.
Yeah,
Right,
because
yeah, because like to hire an industry professional is just like way. It's just not cost effective, and on top of that, I have a good plethora and a good network of people that I could like. My tour manager Phil is a fucking gem.
yeah,
He was in a metal band for years. He's tried and true. This guy's toured the world just like I have. Been
beautiful.
up and down, done the shitty tours, done the good tours. He also makes all my merch as well. He does screen printing, so it's kind of like it's like a one-stop shop with my bro Phil. He drives, he manages, he understands the music industry, he does my merch. Like it's like if you could have like 3 or 4 people like that on your team, you're laughing.
Weird. Yeah, man. I mean, I think a team is super important, but at the same time, like you said, you end up doing a lot of it yourself. I think a lot of artists in 2023 are doing a lot of it themselves, because it is such a fine line budget, right? Like to keep it functional, you can't be paying that many different people, because yeah, man, music just isn't something people buy anymore. I mean, to a large extent, like they used to anyways, right? Like a lot of people just think streaming is free and music is something that they can consume for free, and they don't think about it beyond that because that's the way it's always been as they grew up or whatever. So like, dude, I'm always telling people like you gotta
And even
support
physical.
independent, you gotta go out and support these people who are out there on the road. Buy merch, whatever, buy tickets, go out and support people, right? Yeah, man.
The the fucking the physical copies of albums still do well, I find, on tours, like at live shows and stuff. Like I still sell a decent amount of CDs, and I still like if I had vinyls printed, they'd probably sell out quick,
Yeah,
right? Like I made these cards, I made 15 of them, I sold them in an hour, $100 a pop.
nice. I mean, that works, man. That yeah, merch is a great way to do it because the music is free these days. So I think a lot of people's business plan is that, right? Like rely on selling merch and just give the music out for free. Um, have you
You
ever
have to.
printed
That's like
physicals? Like you've had CDs and stuff back in the day. Have you ever been on vinyl though?
I've never done vinyl, no.
Vinyl costs an arm and a leg, man. I'm always jealous when I see people pressing vinyl
I'm
because
going to do it. I'm going to like I want to do a Sounds Made Up double disc, 1 and 2, open it up. The vinyls are different colors, but it's just a matter of like when and the timing and like even having the extra capital to invest a few $1,000s into some vinyls, right? Like probably
Sure.
going to cost 2,500, $3,000 to get 100 of them made. It's not cheap.
yeah, man, for sure.
But then you make a pack, right? You do like a vinyl and a t-shirt pack and you sell it for $100. You can still make some money there. But
Definitely. Well, or a lot of
yeah,
guys that I've been talking to, like they'll get with indie record labels who kind of help them bankroll that type of thing too. Have you ever thought about getting on with like a label like that, like that's already kind of up and functioning and has the distribution and everything in place, or just built from the ground right up in the beginning?
I mean, I'm never opposed to any type of like deal or whatever, as long as it makes sense. If it made sense, why not? But like, if it's just like, it depends, like what kind of capital they're willing to give, like,
Yeah,
and for what they want in return.
yeah, for sure.
Like, I'm pretty cheap in that sense, and I value. I would say any artist values their worth higher than what it actually is because we see where it can go. And from a business standpoint, if I was a label, I would offer me a lot less than what I would ask for as an artist.
Right.
So it's like one of those things where it's not that I wouldn't do it, but I think when I'm at the point where I could get a deal that I would actually like, I wouldn't need it.
Sorry, you wouldn't need one by the time that you could get one. Your internet there kind of lagged for a second.
By the time I could get one that I would be okay with,
yeah,
by the time I could get one that I'd be happy with, I probably wouldn't need it.
that makes sense.
I'm probably better off going and just hiring a fucking publicist by myself and a PR guy or whatever. Like,
just do it independent all the way. Yeah,
just
I would
doing
agree
it
with
that
you, man.
way.
I think that's the shape of the industry.
Unless
these
it's
days.
major, unless we're talking major labels, then it's a whole different ballgame.
Right. Well, yeah, because they have a different bankroll. They have actual millions and millions of dollars that they can put behind it. Which
It's not even about the bankroll at that point. It's about the connections, what they can facilitate. Like,
well, I was
if
just
you have
going to
a
say
major
their
label-
promotional reach, right? They can get you on buses across North America or whatever, just like
yeah.
you know, snap of their fingers kind of deal. Yeah.
And even fuck the buses, bro. I'm talking like the festival circuits they can get you on, the radio circuits they can get you on,
Yeah.
just like the type of press they can get you. Like, you know, a
Yeah.
label can get you on a Hot 97 Breakfast Club, blah 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 press run, and then have you playing at fucking Lollapalooza and all these little festivals here. Like, even if they're smaller slots earlier in the night, like that shit looks mad good on your resume. Once you start getting locked for festivals, it doesn't really stop, right?
Yeah, the ball starts rolling. Have you done any festivals this summer?
No. I haven't done much like since I got back from Europe. I did a few shows in BC. I'm like kind of working on some stuff for out east. But right now I'm just like locked in, focused. I'm focused on other stuff right now. It's the first time I'm like really on a health kick. I've been working out consistently over a month now, eating good.
Nice.
Just trying to get all that shit in order.
Find mentally that makes you more creative at all? I hear a lot of people say that once they start getting their health in order.
I'm a guy that draws creation. It does, like, I feel better every day. I have more natural energy. I'm just more ready to do shit. But I find like I draw creativity from life experiences. I need to travel. I need to go do shit. I need to go through shit. Like, that's the best way. Especially now, once again, that I've been going for so long and made so many songs about so many things. Like,
yeah,
I need real life experience now. It's only so much of my past experiences that I can draw from before it starts to get redundant.
Yeah, that makes sense. Dude, I have a ton of different questions that I came up with that I just kind of wanted to rapid fire ask. And I might kind of start doing this segment about like how important is this thing I'm about to ask you, and then just try to get like a quick off the top of your head response to how important that thing is.
Oh, shit, hold on.
Yeah.
I accidentally muted this thing trying to turn it up.
So you could, I mean, answer, you know, if you want, how important it is for an MC in general or to you personally, whatever you want to answer as. But how important is a good stage show for MCs out there?
Sorry, how do you want me to answer these? Like out of 10 or like?
I don't know how. Sure, put it on a scale if you want to. Say very important. There's no real rules to it yet, man. This is the first time I've ever put somebody through this segment. You're in the hot seat for it.
All right, let's go. I'm here for it.
All right, man. So yeah, how important is a good stage show?
10.
10. How important is having a DJ with you for your stage show?
5. Because sorry, I know you're doing rapid fire, but I want to
elaborate if you want to. I think it's better. Yeah, it might be better if you elaborate.
I've never toured with a DJ in my life, and I feel like my stage show is pretty damn good. But at the same time, there is a certain element that you can add if you have a DJ that's just yours. If you guys can rehearse,
right. If you guys are really on the same wavelength, yeah.
For years, I toured with the group, so like we already had the three of us enough that it was whatever. But yeah, having a DJ that's on par that's rehearsed with you. So I say 5 because you can do it without it, but it does make your show better if you have it.
Makes sense, man. That's the next one, actually. And I know you just mentioned performing with Doom Squad, but how important is having a hype man / other people on stage with you as you're performing?
That I would say that just depends on the artist.
How about you personally? Like, do you prefer it? Or?
I did, and now I don't. Now that I've done like 6 different tours solo, and I've done,
yeah,
I'd rather not have a hype man, because now that I've mastered performing up there by myself, I feel like that's the ultimate challenge. Can you rock an hour set with nobody else on stage with you, just by yourself?
Yeah,
and that's kind of what I've learned to master, was performing by myself. So now I prefer to do it alone. But it there's a good feeling when like Trips is up there with me and shit like that, and we're just like, it's
kind of the same as DJs. If it's really homies and they really know your music and it's really a vibe, I mean,
Yeah.
it's different than if it was somebody who was
So as
only
far as like
halfway
hype man
committed.
per se, I don't think it's that important.
Word.
Yeah. So
how
I don't feel
important?
like a hype man is that important, but I feel like if you have somebody else with you, it helps.
Fair enough. How important is a rapper's vocabulary?
I'd say about
Right? Because there's
now
no
it's
people
not.
who aren't
But
saying they're
in
not saying
general,
big words, right? Like,
you ever look at that list of like who has the biggest vocabulary?
I have, yeah.
Most
Aesop
of my
Rock or
favorites are in
whatever,
the
right?
middle there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but most of my favorite, like you look at like Nas, Cole, Kendrick, all these guys are like in the middle.
Yeah.
They're not like, so I would say like 5 or 6.
But they're certainly
Because
using
like if you
bigger
say the same shit over and
vocabulary
over
than
again, it's
some
gonna get
people
redundant.
are,
But
right? You know, like there's some mainstream stuff where
yeah,
there's not a lot of vocabulary being said there, yeah.
and yeah, that's mad true. So it just kind of depends, like what you're into.
Yeah, totally.
But I would say as a rapper, it's important.
I hear you. As a lyricist, yeah.
Yeah.
I rank it high, definitely. How about how important is writing music that fits current trends? Again, either to you or just to rappers in general to be successful, whatever you want to answer, really.
I'd say probably like a 7.5. Because especially now with social media, like trends is what is it.
Yeah.
So, but then there's also that other portion where you can kind of carve your own niche if you want to. Like, look at someone like Jelly Roll, who's like rap, had some singing in his rap, and then just kind of like transitioned straight to country and took over the world pretty much. Like, became one of the biggest artists in the world. So it's like, I don't know if that would
Dude,
be
that's how much
fitting in with
attention
the
I
current
pay to
trends.
country. I didn't know that he transitioned to country. That's news to me completely.
Bro, this guy's winning country music awards, Billboard awards, everything. His album's going #1 on fucking rock charts and country. Like, bro,
Is it
huge.
actual
he's one
like
of the
country, or is he pulling the old country road trick to get to the top?
No,
of it?
it's like,
Okay.
yo, it's country, bro.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, go listen to. I was gonna pull it up, but yeah, just go listen to it after.
Yeah, I'll check it out for sure, man. This one actually specifically for you is kind of interesting because like you have a clothing brand / merch, label or whatever you want to call it. I'd call it a brand anyways, but day and night, how important is an MC's fashion?
Ooh, 10.
There you go. All right.
Well, image. I would say image is a 10. Fashion is part of image.
Sure. Okay.
Image is huge. Image is, even if your image is bummy, that's still your image. But knowing what your image is, playing off of it, working with it, like, yeah, it's huge. 10.
Yeah, makes sense.
Because perception is everything.
Yeah, I like that, man. Good answer. How important is a local reputation?
I'd say like an 8.5.
Yeah.
Because maybe even a little lower. Because here's the thing. Your city never really stands behind you until other places do. You'll have your circle that supports you and stuff, but a lot of the times, like, especially now, back in the day, you'd blow up in your city before you'd blow up anywhere else. If you didn't
Right.
pop in your city, labels wouldn't even look
Exactly.
at you. People like Ludacris selling 50,000 copies of his mixtape out of his trunk.
Before anybody
That's what
knew
got him
about
a
him.
deal.
Yeah.
That's what got him his deal. Nowadays, it's the complete opposite. It's like, if you're not viral on the internet, we don't care about you here.
Exactly.
If you're not out there, like, even me, bro, I used to, we did some, like, people used to support Doom Squad heavy, but like, once I started touring Australia and Europe and doing these headlining tours and #1 album and this and that, you just see that the support rally behind you in a different way.
Yeah. Yeah, you see the support rally behind you.
Yeah, he's just another local guy trying to do it. Now, once they think that something's gonna happen, they want to say, "Oh, I've been fucking with them since day one," Or it's
Right.
just a local pride thing. Some people just want to rep local. Some people don't hear about it until it gets there. Whatever the case may be. But yeah, local reputation is important because, like, if your city doesn't fuck with you, why would anybody else fuck with you?
Yeah, I feel like there's two ways to think about it, man, because you can also kind of sidestep your city. There are people who you see doing numbers who I don't think their city really knows.
Tom McDonald is a prime example.
There you go. Yeah, somebody like that, right? There are people out there. So yeah, I thought it was interesting to ask people for their opinion on that one. But
and that's also a personal thing too. How much do you care about that as an artist?
Yeah.
Yeah. Me, I love Edmonton. I want to rep it to the fullest. I got a fucking 780 tattoo on my fucking arm like this. When I go any city I perform in, I let them know where I'm from.
Oh yeah,
You
I
know,
still
so
rep
it's
for
like
Edmonton from
I'm proud of
Lethbridge,
this
man.
place.
You know,
I just like, yo, to me, it's like it's almost like an ego thing in the sense of like, you know, I want to be the guy to do it. We all want to be the guy to do it. You know what I mean?
Hell
Who
yeah,
doesn't
man.
want to be like the fucking Drake of their city, even if you don't hit that level, to be like the undisputed, like nobody, when you ask who's the guy in Toronto, it's not even a question. You know who it is.
Yeah.
When you ask who's the guy in Vancouver, you don't know. There's a few of them, you know?
I'd say
And
Merck.
they're all like
Isn't
kind of
Merck the
different.
clear
Some don't,
choice?
like,
Does Mercules not claim Vancouver?
he's from Surrey, Vancouver, same shit. And like, yeah, like Merck's done a lot. But then you got to look at like the whole scene is look at Baby No Money.
Okay, yeah, true, yeah. He's doing big
Baby No
numbers
Money has a song with
online.
1 billion streams on it.
Yeah.
1 billion streams, bro. He's one of the biggest artists in the fucking world. And so it's like, but at the same time, Merck's out here repping Surrey and repping Vancouver. He's like, he's the city's choice. You
Right.
know, the city would choose Merck before they choose Baby No Money. But Baby No Money he reps Canada in his biggest song. So it's like, but
Yeah.
and that's why I say it's not a clear-cut choice there. It's not like, you know, that Drake's the man, right? Because there's arguments for who could be the guy. And even the fact that you can have those arguments is super dope for Vancouver and for Canadian hip hop in general.
Hell yeah.
The fact that there's numerous people from that city that could be the guy, that's awesome, bro. That's like, but Edmonton doesn't have that yet. The most successful rap artist that we have from Edmonton would probably be Tom McDonald. He's the most, but he doesn't rep Edmonton. He wears American shit. You wouldn't even know he's Canadian.
He doesn't like live in Edmonton anymore, does he? I feel like he's in America all the time. I
He
actually have
he
no
moved
idea.
to Vancouver a long time ago, and then he moved to Edmonton. I mean, LA.
I knew
You have Forever
originally he was
Friday
in
that's from
Edmonton.
Edmonton.
But, yeah.
I wouldn't say he's a rapper. He's more of like a little baby type. But
I
he's
didn't know
done
he
a
was
lot
from
of dope
Edmonton.
shit.
I know his music. I've been
And that's
listening
another
to
thing,
it,
right?
but
None of these
no.
guys are really repping it.
Yeah.
So
a lot
like,
of guys
you
move
know,
the fuck away and start claiming Toronto as soon as they can or whatever, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
Never fear, Kryple's #1 fan is here. Much love, Twisted Marshall.
Yeah, shouts to chat. Thanks for coming through, everybody.
My guy, Big Shane. I'm guessing that's who that is.
So how? Oh, actually, I did want to ask because you said everybody wants to be their city's Drake. And in my experience, not everybody does want to be their city's Drake. So it's interesting to, like, you want to be that famous. That's the goal, to be like multi-platinum,
that famous.
big.
Okay, listen. I think that would be anybody's goal. Why would you not want to be as successful as possible?
Some people don't like that idea, man. There are artists I've talked to who are just like, no, who would want to be that famous? You can't walk down the street, like, you know.
Then you're a hobbyist. At that point, you're a hobbyist. Like,
sure.
If you want to do this for a living, you want to be as big. I'm not saying I want to be as big as that. Yeah. That's not what I mean in the sense of like the Drake of your city. I mean
just that
the undisputed guy that put your city on the map.
That makes sense.
Because like I could put the city on the map and somebody can come by after me and make it and go way bigger than me. But to be the guy is to be the guy. That's just kind of, I feel like for the most part, rappers want, I can't think of like what kind of rapper would not want to have that unless it's more of a hobby for them or they don't see the actual attainability of that success.
Some people are trying to stay underground. I personally don't think I could be like there's people trying to stay underground who just like don't want to be in that lane of being that massive peely, you know. Which, like, whatever. Drake is Drake. Drake's a fucking legend, you know. But you know, he's not named in a lot of people's top 5 MC lists or whatever, right? Like,
in my opinion, he's the best.
Okay.
Of all time to ever do it in hip hop. I put Drake over Jay, Nas, everybody.
Okay, so it comes down to numbers for you, or is it artistically?
No, it comes down to talent. Drake can do what all of those guys can do, and none of them can do what he can do. And
I like that.
Okay. You can't argue that.
Yeah.
Personal preference, you can argue that all day. But I think based off facts, like, I'm not saying he's the best rapper of all time. I'm saying in hip hop genre, of all time, he's the best. He figured it out. This guy has stayed on top longer than anybody. He's got more hits than anybody, more fucking #1s than anybody. And once again, his range is insane. It's just like undeniable. The people that hate on Drake, and like back to your original statement about the underground guys, like I feel weird about that because like I feel like the people that want to stay underground, I don't think they want to stay underground. I think they don't want to switch their sound.
Yeah, I guess maybe that's
So
a better way to say it. They want to blow up with that same underground sound. Maybe.
Comfortable making what they make. But here's the thing. If you told them tomorrow your style of music is going to be the most popular style of music in the world, and you have the chance to be the biggest artist in the world, would you do it? They're going to say yes, if they don't have to change their sound.
Yeah, that's true.
I think
but
all of those people would take that level of success.
I don't think you can get that kind of like Drake. Like Drake is a full-on pop star as well as being a hip hop artist.
You never could doing rap music. Not anymore. Never.
No. So I think some guys, maybe the extent of their dream is to blow up to a level where they're making enough money off music to sustain themselves. And well, or whatever, but are not necessarily like mentioned in the conversation with Drake. I mean, even guys like, Griselda or whatever, like Benny the Butcher could probably walk down White Ave in the middle of the day, and if he wasn't dressed in a bunch of drip, people probably wouldn't really look twice, right? Like there's a level of fame that some people can achieve where they're not like Drake status, right? But they're still definitely wildly famous and doing big numbers.
Yeah, and you're not wrong. I just think I think that is based off the fact that they know that they couldn't get to that off of what they do.
Right.
Because back to the original where I'm like, if it was how it is and you could make Griselda type music and be the #1 artist in the world, a lot of these people would want it. You got to think, yes, the fame is annoying, but bro, what else comes with that?
Yeah, the rest of it's
generational wealth for your family. You can the things that you can do with it. To me personally, I wouldn't want to be that famous. But I'm also smart, bro. I got a good business mind, so I already know.
Well, that's the sentiment I'm talking about. Exactly. No, who wants to be that famous, man? Nobody wants to be that fucking famous. I think there's very few people who actually want Drake level fame.
But here's the thing: if I was making pop music, I probably would want to be that famous.
You're right that we're all out here running around chasing some sort of notoriety or whatever, obviously, but
because I would be down. I would want to be J. Cole famous or Kendrick Lamar famous. Arguably, that's almost as big as Drake famous. That's still I can't walk down the street. That's still I can't blah blah blah.
Yeah, true enough.
But I don't want to be rich old white women stop me in the street famous. That's a little bit too much.
Yeah, like Eminem level famous, where you step outside your house and get mobbed probably because you're just instantly recognized by everybody in the world.
But the thing is, I understand the good that comes with that demon, the demon of superstardom and fame is I'm very me personally, I'm pretty strong mentally. I can deal with a lot of shit that a lot of people can't, especially in the industry. As far as you could put 300 people in front of me every day, I'll sit there and take the pictures and sign it. I might get tired, but I don't see me ever losing the thankfulness and the appreciation I have to be able to do this.
Right.
So I never mind stopping, taking a picture, doing this, going above and beyond. I learned this from Merck. I seen him doing his shows and I do it now too. And a lot of people go crazy where they're like, oh, my sister wanted to come so bad, but she couldn't make it. Or here, give me your phone. And I'll just record a selfie video on their phone saying, hey, what's your name? Blah, blah, blah. Sorry, you couldn't make it. So, it takes me 30 seconds, but goes a long way. That person's going to come to every show I do from now on.
Yeah, they're going to show their homies. Right? Dude, not only is he going to go show it to his sister, send it to his sister, he's going to play it for homies or whatever and just be like, yo, look at how cool Kryple was. That's great marketing. Definitely, man.
And that's kind of what I'm going for, right? It's just my thing is because I see the way that the music industry is moving, the way I see it works, I understand that someone like me who's more rappy is not going to hit mainstream like that. If I want to build a following, I have to do this one by one, hand to hand, face to face, and really build a network of people that want to fuck with me. And that network can take me to a bigger place and get you more attention. But it's I don't think I'm, I could, a TikTok could pop off and it could go, but I don't think that's the way my career trajectory is. Fingers crossed. You know what I'm saying? You never know. I'm learning and figuring out new shit every day on how this social media stuff works and how to capitalize. It's it's one of those things that as soon as you learn something, it's already changed.
Right. And there's so much more.
So,
You're never at a point where you've learned everything, man. Like there's always new shit coming out. There's new platforms to learn. There's new
yeah,
strategies.
I'm about to pay my fucking niece to like help me, you know?
Okay, nice. Yeah.
Like just to
I mean,
figure
you
out what
seem
the
like you're
trends are.
pretty social media savvy though. Like a lot of guys I talk to also talk about how like they do social media, but they do it kind of begrudgingly. No, they're not really enjoying it. Whereas like
Those people are all gonna fail. No disrespect.
no, but I mean that's perfectly legit to say. I think that's valid in 2023 that like social media is so important. Um,
I just say the begrudgingly thing because if you're already begrudging what you need to do in order to get to where you want to be, you've already lost. You need to accept that as part of the job and fucking learn to love it. I love the grind, bro. I hate posting on social media too every day. You think I like that? But it's like, nah, I've learned to love it. This
But
has
that's the
become
thing.
part of
If
my
you
shit.
learn to love it, then it's like, what can I express today? And it's just another form of expression or whatever some of the time, right? Like sometimes it has to just be a promo pic and be like, yo, go check out the new thing. But sometimes you can actually still be expressive through social media posts or whatever. There's still ways to do it authentically. It doesn't have to be as fake as a lot of people seem to think it does or whatever.
Yeah, and to be honest, I think I can be doing way more with social media. I think if I had to give my social media a score, I'd give it a 4 out of 10 on how good I am at actually utilizing the platforms to the best of its ability. I'd say I'm a 4
Word.
because there's so much more I can be doing. And you know what? I'm slowly getting there because here's the hard part about being someone that's fully independent like I am is how fucking much can you do?
Yeah.
How much time is in a day and how much can you realistically do and what's more important? So I never prioritized the social media as high as I needed to in the last few years, especially during COVID. I should have done so much more. I was just partying, being a fucking degenerate, bro. Like, I was going through a time in my life and it was just like, okay, I should have utilized that to start something new, build something new, whatever the fuck it is. But it's never too late to learn. So now
You're on a
I'm
pandemic
really getting
project
on
right
it.
now,
Like,
man. This whole thing is only because I had time over the pandemic and started doing the radio show and then was like, what else can I add? Well, maybe I could do an interview every week. What else can I add?
yeah.
Like how much of this can we push? Can I chop clips every day? Yeah. There's always
Yeah.
something, man.
So you're about to see a lot more from me. I'll tell you exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm regrouping, bro. I'm like, I have a 3 month. I have my whole release, every release planned until the end of the year. I actually have like everything planned until the end of the year. My calendar is booked every single days except Sundays because I don't really post on Sundays. But Monday to Saturday, I know exactly what I'm posting every day until
Nice.
the end of the year.
So you've got it planned out, but you don't have the posts made. You just have like on Mondays I post a beat making clip or something, or like
Kind of, yeah. And then I just fill it in. And sometimes I know, like, so I would say about 30% of it is already predetermined. And then there's about 70% that I just wing it, right? So, like, I have pre-made content that I've made, like, for future releases. So, like, my song that comes out in a month and a half, I already have 3 reels made for it.
that was what I was just going to ask. Is
So
how
then
far in the
the week
future
it
do you have
releases, I
songs planned
know
out? Like how far in
depends.
advance are your releases?
So I'm trying to make it about 3 months at all times because like it gets this weird point where when I would try to plan more in advance, like 6 months, things change, bro. You never know. Like I could have 6 months planned and then all of a sudden, oh, so and so famous artist wants to do a song and wants to release it in a month. And okay, well then yeah, we have to switch up the plan then and do this.
Yeah.
And so when it gets too far, it becomes a lot to handle. But I do 3 months, but I think I'm in a like a dire need of a change right now. Whether it's a change of image or a change of sound or like I need to revamp again. And if you're an artist and you're watching this, I don't know how many, there's 10 people in here. If you're an artist and you're watching this, bro, like it's never too late to revamp. And like, do you follow Ray Daniels?
Rings a bell, but no. No, who's Ray Daniels?
Guy's
Why do I know that
fucking
name?
genius when it comes to his music, bro. He's exactly what he's done, but like he's got a podcast now and he's been around for a minute. And I watch his podcast and clips every day. It's just a gem of knowledge. And he was talking about this exactly. He's like, it's never too late to reinvent. It could be anything, bro. When Future was around for years and years, and he even had some dope big songs, But when he dyed the end of his dreads blonde and put that fucking Undertaker looking hat on, boom.
Right.
Rihanna, same shit. Rihanna had some hits, but when she cut that hair short, she saw like little things like this. It's just
Suddenly,
like a little change. So,
half the women in the world got that haircut that year. It seemed like, man.
you know what I'm saying? So like, I'm in this position where I know that's what's next. That's what I need. There needs to be a revamp, a change of some sort. Something's got to like.
So are you watching hat racks as you go shopping, or like what are you looking for? Are you watching for like a fancy hat then as you go shopping, or what's
that's the thing? I have no idea what I'm gonna do yet.
Yeah.
And even if I did, I wouldn't tell nobody.
Good call, man. So I already asked you how important a manager was.
There's
you
not
said
that many people in here to spoil it.
Oh, well, see, but the thing is, this audio, I mean, the live part of it, yeah, there's only 9 people here, but people might hear it afterwards on the
they'll
end
hear
of an ATSIC mix or whatever. So I do, like, part of the reason I do these interviews is for artists like yourself to be able to share tips for other artists and shit like that. Because I know, a lot of the people that do tune into ATSIC are the people I'm playing on it, from coast to coast artists who are on the come up will tune in and listen to it. So yeah, it just kind of tips and tricks is always welcome here, man. But I do hear you. You don't want to give away too much.
I got a lot of tips and tricks, man. I got a lot of years of trial and error under my belt and like music industry knowledge because I'm a nerd like that. And it's just like, bro, this industry is full of snakes. I tell any artist, the number one thing that you should have before you learn anything is get a bullshit detector. You just got to ingrain that shit in your brain and learn to spot the bullshit from a mile away because it's 90% bullshit and 10% real opportunities. And even some of those real opportunities are covered with bullshit as well. So it's like, it's a really hard industry to navigate, especially with internet, like, bro, the amount of like promotion scams that you see and like, I'll help you get streams or views or this and that. Like, bro, I don't buy no streams, no views, no followers, none of that. Like, this is why this shit grows the way it grows, slow and steady, because I'm not trying to, I want everything to be organic.
Actually, that's something two spots down the list. How important is paid advertising?
Well, paid advertising isn't always important, but paid advertising and paying for streams and views are 2 completely different things.
Yeah, I agree, but they're in the same ballpark. The same people are doing both of those 2 things. People who are putting...
sometimes depends who you are. Like if you understand the music industry like I do, you're not.
Yeah, because it'll get you banned from Spotify. I've seen people, have their new project go up. It has 20,000 views 2 days later or whatever, 20,000 plays on it, and then 3 days later it's gone because Spotify noticed something fishy with their algorithms or whatever.
Yeah, and even more than that, I see like I understand the algorithmic trends on places like Spotify and YouTube and shit like that very well. I study that shit. I can understand, like I can see like if you get a lot of streams and your monthly listeners go up, that's normal. But after 30 days, if your monthly listeners just heavy drop, then it's like there's got to be some give back. I don't even have a word for it, but it's like Spotify is the worst for this. Spotify gives a lot of artists this false sense of accomplishment, this false sense of entitlement, and this false sense of self-worth just based off of streams when they're not converting. You're not gaining followers from it, you're not getting likes from it, and you're not getting YouTube followers, subscribers, or views from it.
Yeah.
Just your Spotify is benefiting. And either you're paying for botted streams or you're getting put on playlists, but even on those playlists, it's not converting. Spotify is the hardest place to convert because people 9 times out of 10, if they're just discovering your music, they're discovering it in a playlist that they're already listening to. And at the very most, if they like your song, they're probably just going to click that heart button and save it to their playlist. And you'll keep getting the streams, but like, bro, these people got to hear like 3, 4, 5 of your songs before they even care to look at your profile half the time.
Definitely.
To even subscribe or follow you or anything like that. So
many rappers, man. It's an ocean of rappers out there for people to pick through. So I understand why they're like that, but I'm the guy who hits follow, man. I dig on Spotify, build up the follow list and try to just
you're a gem, and we need people like that. Like
ear to the streets, man. But
and this is part of adapting to the industry because like with YouTube, it wasn't nearly as bad as that. Like if you've seen somebody's video on YouTube, you just click that subscribe button right there. Yeah. You're like, oh yeah, I want to see more of this. I don't want to miss this. And if you really like that, you're gonna go as far as to find their. Okay, where are they on Instagram? Like, YouTube would create a fucking funnel. If you have a viral video on YouTube, that shit is creating a funnel. Your Spotify is going up, your Instagram. Or
Yeah.
even when you have a hit on
Click funnel.
TikTok.
Bring it all back to
But
one
when you
place,
have a
right?
hit on Spotify, that's not converting.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So it's like it's creating this false sense of entitlement for all these artists that have 200,000, 300,000 monthly listeners and all these plays and shit. But it's like that's the only place these people aren't coming to your shows or buying your merch or watching your
Do you
music
think it
videos or
helps
doing
them
any of
book
that shit.
festivals? That's the thing that I wonder is, does it trick a promoter when you point to your Spotify and have 200,000?
It definitely can. Depends
Yeah.
on the promoter. Are the promoters diligent enough to look at these things like I do? Are
They
they
should be. Yeah.
they just see one thing and go with it? Like if you have 300,000 monthly listeners on Spotify and 1,200 followers on Instagram, I feel like for most people that would already trigger like a question in your brain. Like,
Yeah.
that's kind of weird, you know? Make you want to do a dive, but some people just see that number and book it and be like, you know, because I've seen that too. But that's usually inexperienced. Most of the time, it's other artists trying to book other artists that are just like that believe the same way in those streams that you do, so they find the value in it too. So they'll pay you thousands of dollars for a show. You come out and 7 people come, and you're like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. Where's your thousands of fans? Yeah, definitely. Man.
Yeah.
So that's probably good. Oh no, I do want to ask you this one. How important is the ability to freestyle?
Fuck. Nowadays, I don't think it is, but I think it's how important is the ability to? I think maybe I'll put it at a 5. But how important, like, is it to be able to add it as an asset? I'd say like a 9.
Okay.
Because like if you look at someone like Junk, this guy freestyles for
Yeah.
20 minutes at the end of every show.
Yeah.
And if he didn't win you over already with his set, which is already dope, that fucking freestyle where he calls out every single thing in the room and you just see it, you're like, holy fuck, that's so crazy. Like, this is how I feel like that freestyle segment is a big portion of how he's been able to grow his fan base so steady and so solid.
Makes a big
because,
impression,
like,
right? Yeah.
it's personable too. Like if he raps about you, you're gonna want to come. You're gonna want to come to every fucking show from now on. It's the same thing as like if Drake slaps your hand when he's walking through the barrier. You're like, oh my god, he touched my hand. You know, you see that video that just like I seen a video the other day on Shade Room or whatever the fuck it was, where some girl had the same nail polish color as Drake did, and that went viral. Not only did the girl feel the need to film that, like it's so important, but it was so important to so many people that it went viral. Something as silly as that, but that's just a fan interaction. And
yeah, it can go a long
so
ways.
like, any
right?
little interaction like that could build a lifelong fan.
Yeah, people want to know the actual person behind the artistry, right? Which you'd think that with something as lyrical as hip hop, they'd be able to do through the music, but a lot of people are fronting hard in their lyrics, and so yeah, it's those people I think that don't want to show the behind the scenes shit, that don't want to show the social media shit, that don't want to have it all be like exposed, that like their day-to-day life is what it is rather than what they're rapping about some of the time. Yeah, man. But
yeah, well, they can't, right? Because then it ruins it, right?
Exactly. Dude, can I ask you, I don't know, hey, tip for youth coming into the hip hop game? What should they do if they're trying to make their way into hip hop?
You know, I just seen an article about somebody that got asked this and they had the best answer ever. I forget who it was. They said, when anybody asks me what my advice is when getting into hip hop, they say quit. and if they listen to you, they're not built for it.
Oh yeah, I saw that too. Actually, I don't know who said that, but yeah.
Oh, it was somebody important. But that's probably my answer now from now on to that question, because like I can't think of a better one.
Yeah,
that like solidifies this, because this is like the hardest fucking shit ever.
Probably
bro.
Anybody who does succeed has been told to quit. I would assume. Yeah.
And, but more than that, they've just like defied so many odds and broke down barriers and conquered obstacles. Like it's like, I don't know, man. This is like, I don't even have an analogy for it, bro. You're just like trapped in a fucking tuna can with a bunch of people, man.
Yeah, weird, man.
You know, everybody trying to get the same thing.
How about, you said you've booked tours. Can I get a tip for people on booking tours?
Yeah, be willing to lose money the first couple times you do it. Be open to taking whatever the fuck you can get and get out there and build those relationships so when you eventually can keep going, you can make money.
Old.
Take 10 grand. Well, if you're in Canada, take 10 grand, 15 grand, invest it into a fucking tour, go out, bring some merch. Hopefully you sell some. Cause here's the thing. That's what we started doing. I just did that from rip. I just knew I had new other artists in other cities and I'd reach out and I'd book. And I
Yeah.
just keep reaching out and reaching out. And like eventually the network spread. Like I have all these posters just around me. It's crazy.
Dude,
The first tour was like,
what you just said though about knowing artists in other cities is so important. I think a lot of people overlook that shit. Which is another reason that I wanted to do the radio show, to do After the Smoke's Clear in the first place, is so that artists across Canada could know who was dope in each other city, you know, and have a kind of hub where it's all being played in the same spots or whatever. Because what you just said about like reach out to them and have them help with the booking and have them help with the promotion, that goes so far, right? To bring people out. If you're just booking for you and homies from Alberta to go play in Manitoba, it might be tough if there's no locals on the bill, right? At least for a lot of
and just the network too of building out there. Like, yo, do songs with these people before you go out. Do songs with locals before you go do the show. Build like, you know, before I even booked a single tour, I had gone to like 8 different cities individually at random times and just done one-off shows out of my own, well, not my own pocket. At the time I had somebody paying for like plane tickets and shit like that for me to just go push. So it was like, okay, what can I do? Who do I know? Where can I go? And I just utilized that to the best. I had a little budget and it was like, I want to use this to build. So I went to Ottawa, I went to Toronto, I went to Montreal, I went to Nanaimo, I went to fucking Kelowna, Vancouver, Winnipeg. Like I just went these places. Like I knew one person there. Excuse me. They put me on a show and I just built networks. Like, yo, Ottawa, I went there. My first show was with Swisha T. Sharon was there. Aspects was there. I built a relationship with these guys fucking 12 years ago. Aspects toured with Snack. Sharon's one of the biggest battle rappers in Canadian history. I'm tight as fuck with these guys. And like, it's just cool. I go to Ottawa now. We just link up, make music together, fucking whatever. Like, they're just my boys. And I built relationships like with Merc, with fucking DTG. Like, and it,
I had it written down to ask you, like up in the important section that I'm now done with, but one of the things I did have written there was how important is knowing other musicians around you. I figured you'd kind of already talked about it, but you just did again there. So like,
well, it's always good to have a good network, but it has to be authentic because like if you're just trying to like meet people to schmooze people or anything like that,
get
like
the Instagram pic or whatever. But yeah,
to me, I was like, the people I work with, I genuinely get along with. Like, aside from music, like these are just my friends too. Like, if there's no business or music involved, I'd still fuck with these people the exact same way. Like me and Dylan, like DTG, that's like my fucking brother for life. Like, love that guy to death.
All my best friends are musicians, man.
Yeah, but for me, like the guy's given me so many looks that he didn't have to give me. Just like it helps. You can't deny the fact that having successful musician friends as a musician can be helpful.
Yeah.
But it's like, if you're just out here trying to do shit like that, that's not going to work because people are just like,
you got to put the music into.
They have to be genuine. And there also has to be mutually beneficial too. No, nothing can be like one-sided in business. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah. That's the age-old advice there. Always have something to offer if you reach out to somebody else in this music.
Bro, be an asset and not an expense, and you'll fucking be surprised in what rooms you end up in and what you end up being doing. Like, you know,
talking to motherfuckers on Twitch once a week, every Tuesday. Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. So there's a few questions I've asked everybody who's been on this show, and interesting answers from it always. Can you describe the Edmonton hip hop scene? I just asked people to describe their local scene.
Underrated.
I agree, definitely. Yep.
If I had to do it in one word, I'm saying underrated.
All right. Well, yeah, you can do it in one word. I like it. Can you name some other people from your scene who people should be up on, who maybe aren't, as known as they could be?
This is always the worst question because I'm always going to forget people that I shouldn't forget. And then I don't have to, like, let's see. Well, Trips, check out my brother Trips. I just produced a full album for Brothers Grimm. Those are my dogs. My bro, Mac
their
Malone,
upcoming album is completely produced by you?
I did everything.
Nice, man. Dope.
Same with Sonic. Sonic has an album coming out completely produced by me as well. Check that out. Check out DBX too. Check out Jason Pax, Deezy the Don. I've been doing a lot of work with Deezy too. Bro, there's so many dope artists. There's all those young kids, Saint Laurent, Retro. Like, man, Carice is dope. Fuck it.
Those are a
Bro,
couple names I gotta check
go
out.
off.
Saint
I
Laurent.
could
What did
name
you say?
100 people.
Retro and Carice. Were those the names?
Retro, Saint Laurent, and Carice are they're three all like younger dudes. Like I think they're all like 19, 20 around there.
Nice. New names to me, man. So that's the other reason I ask people this is so I can find more people to play on After the Smoke is Clear. But
if you want that, I'll send you some Edmonton playlists that you can just. There's a couple guys I know that make Edmonton playlists.
Oh, dope. Yeah. I mean, I'll probably know most of them, I would assume, but yeah, there's probably a lot
You'd be
of young guys
surprised,
who
bro.
haven't tapped in on.
I still find new rappers every day from here. I'm like, what is going on? Like,
yeah, it's so cheap now to get in to the game and actually just be able to record raps in your basement or whatever. People are doing it left, right, and center.
Well, these guys though, Saint Laurent and Retro and shit, they all work at a NATO studio.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Okay.
So that's like, I kind of heard about them before, but then that's how I got to link with them and like meet them all and shit.
Nice.
And like NATO has an intern there, Seriously Taylor, his name is, or assistant, whatever you want to call him. He's dope. He's like NATO's sidekick. Just sits there, helps with all the mixes, learns. He's young too, 19 or 20, really talented. And like his artist pretty much is like Carice, like not signed or anything, but like he makes all Carice's beats and mixes and masters all Carice's stuff. So they like work together. And
nice.
Then like Retro and Saint Laurent have a crew. There's like 6 other more of them, and they all just work together. They'll rent out the studio for like 8-9 hours at a time and just all mob out there and do their thing.
Nice. Yeah, I'll have to tap in. Thanks for
it's cool to see like these younger kids just like building empires, you know?
Hell yeah.
I feel old.
I mean, we're getting old, man. We are getting old. That's a question I like to ask people. Is hip hop a young man's game?
Yeah. Current hip hop is a young man's game.
Ooh. Okay.
I think any type of real music is timeless and ageless. But if like, here's the thing: current hip hop always has a theme, and right now the theme is like violence heavy, gang heavy, braggadocious heavy, and if you're female, it's real slut heavy, and it's this. So it's like, if you're not that, then yeah, it's a young man's game. Like,
well, if you're, how about? I mean, I think if you're trying to go like Drake level of fame, if you're trying to really hit that mainstream, then yeah, what you're saying is definitely very valid, I think.
But I don't think you're ever too old to make music. And look at someone like Tech9 didn't really start doing well until he's 40.
On an independent artist level, I think a lot of dudes make the best music that they've made in their 30s.
Absolutely.
You know?
I think so too. 30s, 40s even?
Yeah, likely. Yeah. Because it's just that much more honed or whatever. They've had that much more practice and that much more life experience and more shit.
And just, and for me, I'd say like I'm just more mature and just like less misguided, you know? Like I understand life better than I did.
Like that new single of yours, man.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is too. You just like, you see the world different as you get older, man. And the older you get, the wiser you get.
Hell yeah.
And that should portray in the music. And another thing is like, I want to grow with my, like, I don't want to just like, I want to grow as I grow. My music needs to grow with it. Like a lot of the newer stuff that I'm putting out is like not as bar heavy and like aggressive rap. It's more like singing and more just like relatable topics.
Yeah.
Some people might not like it, but like I'm trying to reach vaster audiences too. Like I want to make music that's not just stuck to this fucking niche, bro. I just want to make good music. I'm not trying to be the best rapper anymore.
I like your newer subject content. I mean, like rapping for the sake of rapping or rapping for the sake of punchlines. That's fun, and like you can show off doing it. Like you can show off technically or whatever. But like to me, the best music has some real has something to say, has some content to it, right? Like, and
I'm not against that bar hip hop. I like bar now. Obviously, that's like my foundation.
Well, I'm not against it either, but there's got to be a balance. Yeah.
But for me, it's a time and a place. It's like now, it's like unless I'm doing a song with another bar spitter, where it's like, okay, now we're gonna play, we're gonna have some fun, or I'm doing like a radio freestyle or some shit. Like other than that, like if I'm making songs and I'm making actual music that I'm releasing, I want it to just like be able to be digested by these same people that like bar rap, but also by people that don't, because
it's tough to walk the line,
The
man.
more
but
niche your music is, the more you limit your fan base.
I think you've developed the skills to walk that line pretty well.
I think I
though,
found
dude.
a good. I
Yeah.
think I found a good niche for it.
Hell yeah, man.
I got a couple. I got a couple releases before the end of the year that show that, and
Nice.
it's going to be a test to see how people react.
Are you staying with singles, releasing a bunch of singles,
See,
string of singles, or we'll see? You say?
yeah, I'll do it now. I'll do some type of project. I'll do some type of project in 2024.
Okay,
I don't know what yet, but
nice,
I'll do something.
nice. Anything coming up to plug before we get out of here, man? Anything people should check out?
I got a single dropping next Friday, Friday the 13th.
Dope.
I don't know what else.
You should send that shit over to me.
subscribe
Can I play it on this week's ATSIC? You want to let me fucking premiere it?
Yeah, when NATO sends me the fucking, he's gonna send me the master tomorrow.
Okay, word. Yeah, I don't know. I like
Once I
nothing
get
more
that, I'll send it over.
than playing things and yelling exclusive, world exclusive over top of it. But yeah, man, I appreciate you coming by.
World premiere.
Yeah, right. Where can people find you on social media, bro?
Doozy, I love you. You're the man.
Holy shit! This
Kryple, man. Just search my name up.
Kryple. Okay, yeah, right. Most often though, are you active on one platform versus the other?
Nah, Instagram probably the most.
Okay, perfect.
That's like the best way to find me. But I'm pretty like I post on my Facebook just as much.
All right,
I post different stuff on all my socials. Like I have different stuff that I post on my YouTube, different stuff I post on Facebook, different stuff on Instagram, and it kind of like keeps shit fresh, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm too lazy for that shit, man. I post a TikTok clip and then it goes to Instagram and then I throw it onto Twitter because why not? But yeah, your way is probably
Well, here's the
smarter. I
thing,
will not
there's-
deny it.
Different types of content do better on different platforms. For instance, posting a reel of me rapping with the lyrics in it
Yeah,
does much better on TikTok. But posting that same reel with the lyrics in on Instagram, I find hurts me because it has text in it, so they already feel like you're promoting something or whatever it is. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe if it's like music and text, it can be
like
I
you
don't
think
know.
the algorithm punishes you for having subtitles in there? You're talking about?
Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I just think too much about it. But like
It might
subtitles
be, man.
and music at the same time.
I don't know one way or the other. I'm interested though. Now that's an interesting thought. No. Do you
But
do you look
definitely
at like your
found
metrics
when
and
I
shit? Or you
post videos with lyrics?
do you put in work
All the
like
time.
studying
I'm on
and
that
shit?
all day.
Nice, man. Yeah, okay.
Absolutely. How else do you know? How else do you track? You need to track the data.
Yeah. So, do
You
you
need to
find
know what's working.
do you find timing matters? I was talking to another content creator friend who was talking about how recently he's been experimenting with when he posts and has been seeing big gains off of making sure to post certain content at certain times. Yeah, something that's,
Absolutely.
crossing my mind, but still just fucking warming up to all of this and getting the gears rolling.
Yeah,
really,
because
man.
like how much traction you get within the first X amount of time you post something, most of the time determines how well the post is going to do in
Right.
general.
Whether the
So if you're
algorithm
posting it
pumps
at
or
like
not.
fucking 3 a.m. when nobody's up
Yeah.
and nobody sees it, you might not get that many, you know? Like I try to post all my shit around like in between the hours of noon and 2.
Yeah.
I try.
Yeah, I go from noon to
So-
3, something like that. But
Mhm.
it's also interesting because sometimes I'm posting content of people in like Halifax, right? So if it's people I've interviewed from Halifax, you know, Lavender and Tachichi or something, then I got to make sure, okay, when I'm posting this, the people in Halifax, it needs to be between 12 and 3 rather than people out here necessarily, right? But yeah, always learning, always growing, always trying new strategies. I think that's super important for independent artists. I thank you immensely for coming on here to, you know, share some of these gems and some of your insights, man.
Hey, thank you for having me, man. I appreciate the look.
Don't keep playing your music. All right, dude. We'll call it an end. Thanks for doing this. Peace.
Hey, no much love, brother. Have a good night.
You too. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you don't know, I do a mix show every week called After the Smoke is Clear. ATSIC, ATSIC. Mixcloud.com/Doobyis is where you can find that. I play Damn it, now my voice dies on me. I play independent hip hop every week. It's never the same stuff twice. Always new release from, the last month or so at the very least. But like I was just saying, a Kryple, my favorite's playing exclusives. And because artists seem to like it, I have been getting a lot of those sent over recently. So it's been dope getting to air exclusive stuffs, but make sure you check those out. And thanks for coming by on Twitch. I do these interviews every Tuesday